Hello and welcome to the Finding Proof podcast. Today I'm very excited to bring to you a guest all the way from the Netherlands. Her name is Jeanine Hofs. She is what is called an energy master, so that you can then master so many other things in your life. Welcome, Jeanine. So glad to have you here today.
I am very grateful to be in this show, Dr. Tess. Very, very much. Thank you.
Glad to have you. Glad to have you. We are going to be battling a little bit with the internet today, so we're going to see how we go. Hopefully we will be okay. Jeanine, I'm going to dive right in because about 48 hours ago, I got an email from Jeanine asking me if I would like to complete a questionnaire or a test that she has on her website, completely out of the blue, completely took me by surprise. So of course I was intrigued. And being a psychologist, we do testing all the time. This is something we're very familiar with. Not very often that I'm on the other side of the testing equation. It really made me think. It really, when I completed those, 22 questions? I think it's 22 questions. All about assessing your energy style, if you like. Tell us about energy. Tell us about energy. Tell us about the work you do. And in particular, what is that test looking at?
Yeah. Okay. So I think everybody will agree with me that everything consists of energy. Everything is energy. So when you break down something under a microscope, you will see that everything contains or exists of or is energy. Well, I'm a specialist in Chinese medicine. And they have a different approach to energy. And when I discovered that, I discovered a whole new world. And I used to think our energy is okay when you go to the gym 2 or 3 times a week, and when you eat healthy food. That's just a part of energy, just a small part. And for the Chinese opened my eyes in the approach to energy. And they found out that everything in nature moves in cycles, especially anything organic, like we are, and that you can define 5 movements in that energy. And they gave them names: fire, earth, metal, water, and wood. So by doing that, they can approach a problem from an angle instead of taking a look at the big picture. They can find this problem immediately by dividing it into these 5 elements, for example. And after a while, I decided to create a test, because I created this test because I couldn't find it on the internet like I wanted it. So I created this test, and because I have this 26 years of experience, I could. And now people can do this assessment, if you like, or test, and then they will know what energy type is their dominant one. Is it fire energy, or is it wood energy, or is it a little bit more calm, the metal energy? And by doing that, you will know exactly what your pitfalls are, or what your qualities are, or how you lose energy, because that differs from person to person and from energy type to energy type.
That's fantastic. Like I said, I found the questionnaire really made me think, and made me think about things like, what annoys me, and obviously what energizes me, but the what annoys me stuff really got me intrigued, because I found myself pausing a lot longer on those questions, because there were quite a few things. I was like, oh yeah, that annoys me too. And I found that thinking about the work that you do around energy, and thinking about the work that I do as a psychologist, it's coming from a very different perspective, but still focusing very much on how people are feeling, how people are able to change the way they're feeling. So what does energy work do with them?
Well, with energy work, they get to know themselves much better. And then when you do energy work, I always say every success starts from the inside out. And sometimes, most of the times when we have a problem, we focus on this problem. The problem is most of the time outside of us. So we focus on this problem, we zoom in on it, and we try to solve it out there. But my thinking is, or I know for sure, that every success starts from the inside. So energy management work makes them go inside, makes them feel next to think about it, because we have brains and that's important, and I love them very much. I love them, my brain, because they help me and they do so much for me. But also the other side, the feeling. I always compare energy to bubbles. When I have energy, I feel these bubbles, the tiny bubbles. I feel like champagne. I'm focused. I am productive. I always make the right choices. You mostly know that afterwards, but that's what usually happens. And so when you do energy work, you get in your state of bubbles. You get into your power, as they call it. And then you'll be able to make the right decisions, because sometimes we make decisions based on what other people think is good for us, or what society imposes on us, or what you think will make the most money, or what your friends do, or everybody did a universal study, so I have to do that too, because I'll be the black sheep in the family otherwise. Or, but if it doesn't give you bubbles, you'll be unhappy. You'll have maybe $1 million on the bank and you'll still be unhappy. So when you follow the bubbles, when you do the energy work, you line up everything with who you really are, with what you want, what really makes you happy. And then life will be so much easier. And I like that. I like that when things go easy.
I think we overall, I think we all aspire to that, don't we? We all aspire to having a life that I've heard that phrase, when you're meant to be, or feeling like they're aligned with your values, and everything seems to just fall into place and just feels right.
Yeah.
And I notice I'm using that word "feel" a lot. I think what we're talking about is we could call it trusting your instincts a little bit too, or listening to your inner wisdom, perhaps.
Exactly.
Is another phrase that I hear bounced about. Yeah. So when you're working with somebody on this energy work, and I noticed that you talked a lot about, coming from the Chinese philosophies, and we know from science that there's a growing amount of research that supports a lot of the Chinese medicines, and we know that a lot of the Eastern philosophies around meditation and mindfulness in particular, that they are all now building a science backing to what has been common knowledge for thousands of years. When you're working with somebody, are you working to change their energy, or are you working to help them tap into their energy? Like, what's the main rationale behind the work that you do?
That's an interesting question. Thank you for that. I found that there are mostly 3 problems on energy level. Sometimes the energy, just the physical amount of energy is too low. And then I don't want to change it. I just want to teach them how they can build their energy up. So they will get more energy. For example, they are tired, or maybe burnt out, because this is a disease of this time: frustration, stress, and what did I just lost my words.
Burnout.
The burnout.
Burnout.
Yeah, the burnout. So it's a disease of this time, and then we want to build this energy up so they have more energy. Sometimes they feel tired, or they are stuck because their energy is stuck. So they have a lot of energy, and when I have them with me, I can feel it on their pulse. But there are also different signs, so I could do this wherever on the world with somebody. I can find out whether the energy is low or stuck. And I always compare it with a garden hose. When you have a garden hose, you want to water your plants, and you open the tap and the water is going through it. You can water your garden. But if there is a kink in this water hose, the water doesn't go through it, so you don't have water. The tap is open, but there's no water, and that can happen to your energy too. So when there's a kink in the energy flow, meridians, or whatever you want to call them, then they won't feel energy too. So then I want them to to create flow. And this can be done mentally or with your thoughts or with mindset, affirmations and stuff like that. Well, with movement, go get some movement in that body. And the third thing is energy frequencies. Like I explained, everything, you can see everything under a microscope, and then you see the energy moves in waves or in frequencies. And the energy frequency of water is completely different than the energy frequency of wood, and I mean physical wood or metal, or my cup of tea or my emotions. And it's very logical too, because when your energy frequency is low, for example, when I feel anxious, it's lower than when I feel happy. When I feel angry, it's higher than anxious, but still lower than gratefulness, for example. Or when I feel I am not good enough, it's very low. That's almost not existing anymore. I'm not there. I feel ashamed. I'm not enough. Instead of, I love my life. I love what I do, and I love the challenges in it, and I can handle it because I'm grateful for everything that happens to me and what is there. So then I try to change it. I try to teach them how to change the energy frequency from low to higher on the average. So, because life is filled with yin and yang, so you always have challenges. You will always keep having them, and it's normal. But if you know the opposite side, so you're never only happy or only sad, then your average energy frequency is high, then you are happy, then you feel bubbles, and you attract good opportunities, because that's exactly the key to law of attraction, the high frequency. Because you attract the frequencies of the energy. That's an energy law, like gravity, but different. And it states that every frequency, the same frequencies attract each other. It's like a magnet and iron, same frequency. They attract. They don't. When you pull a magnet through the sand of the beach, you won't attract the shelves or the sand or the glass, just the metal, and that's same frequency. So they attract each other. So when I'm angry, I attract angry people, and I attract angry business opportunities, and I attract things which I make a decision on, but will get and make me angry on the long term or immediately, I don't know. But so never make a decision from a low energy frequency. Stop yourself, do energy work, get yourself in a higher frequency, and then decide, and then go.
Right.
So you can see I'm very enthusiastic about
the. I get that totally. I love that when people get excited about the work they do. I love that. Can you tell me a little bit about the 5 key or 5 dominant types, energy types? Can you define each of those for us?
Yes, I can. So you have the fire energy types: earth, metal, wood, and water. And you can see them in the seasons as well. So, for example, now it's spring. Is it springtime in Australia?
No, it's autumn.
It's
so
autumn.
We're the opposite.
Okay, no problem. Because
spring
autumn,
where you are.
I'm in springtime now. Yeah. Okay. So that's an interesting thing, because the energy of autumn is there in Australia now. It's developing. So that's the energy of getting rid of things that don't matter anymore. So you see, the nature does this. It lets go of the leaves because it wants to get the energy back into the roots, into the bulbs, into the seeds, because that's winter time. That's the rest, that's the quietness. And autumn is an energy of metal. And metal is all about getting rid of what's not good for you anymore right now, and prepare yourself, also harvesting things, and after that prepare yourself for wintertime. Wintertime is water energy, and water energy is all about refreshing your energy, replenishing your energy, because the energy is in the seeds, in the roots, in the bulbs, and that happens in us too, because we are a part of nature too. So this energy movements are inside of us too. So then after winter is what we have right now. Then you have spring, and it's a very powerful energy. That's the wood energy. It's powerful. It wants to grow. It wants to develop. When you were away, I was away for a week last week. I was in Spain. And when I came back, my garden was just like exploded. And that's the power of wood, because wood is all about growth and development and go and win and do stuff, be active. Well, you see this in nature too. And after that, you get summertime. And summertime is like, hey, see me? I'm an apple tree, and I have the biggest, most beautiful, most round and red apples ever you ever seen. So I'm proud of it, and I show everything I have because I'm proud of it. And they talk a lot, and they show themselves. And it's high energy and energy in upwards movement. So that's fire. And after fire, you have the earth energy. And earth energy is a special one because all seasons have this in-between period of 2 weeks, and sometimes after summer too. It's not summer anymore, but it isn't autumn yet either. So that's earth. It's like the energy is pausing, taking a rest, centralizing everything, balancing everything, preparing for the next season again. So that's earth energy, and people with earth energy do that as well. They like to harmonize, they like to gather people, they're always diplomatic, they're a little bit more slow, they pay attention to the details. And so you see this in nature, but we also have this energy. And when you find out what your dominant energy type is, you can work with it. You can, for example, if you're a wood energy type, you're great at making decisions. You're a fast thinker probably, and you can oversee the bigger whole. You have the overview. And earth energy, for example, has troubles with this overview, but is very good in details. And wood isn't that good in details, and details are a little bit boring too. So it's best to work with somebody, employee or co-worker, who has a lot of earth energy, because together you finish things. Because otherwise, and I have wood energy in my profile as well in the second place. So I tend not to finish things, because as a wood type, I like new and exciting things. But earth says, oh, whoa, let's have a look at the details, slow down a little bit, and let's finish this. So together we create. So no element is the best.
Yeah, that's it. I mean, that's what I'm hearing, is that there are obviously strengths in each of these types.
Exactly.
And I think because I sent it to you, that I when I completed your test, I came out with the wood energy. And hearing you talk about the balance between the wood energy and the earth energy in my private practice, so my psychology practice, I have my senior clinician in the practice there who describes our working relationship of me with big ideas, big plans, and she says sometimes she feels like she's running around behind me with a basket to catch the ideas so that she can translate them into something practical.
Yeah. Oh, wow. That's exactly what you are. You are the wood.
It does. Yeah, that rings bells with me.
Wow. Oh, that's great. So people already know their type when they go and feel, but sometimes it's handy to have it all together. For example, maybe you would think, I need to develop a quality for looking at the details and finishing things. No, my opinion is no, you don't need to develop it, except maybe for when it's your second energy. But just for a minute, just think you're a wood energy type, so you don't have to develop that. You just have to go and work together with somebody who has it, because you'll be unhappy growing that and developing that quality. It'll cost you a lot of energy, and it'll never be your first quality, because it's another element. So, and that's in my practice, I see people and I hear them say, wow, this opens my eyes and this gives me peace of mind, because I always thought I needed to go and learn this or do that, and now I see it's not in my element, it's even my last element. So why should I put my energy into that? So that's my opinion. He'll be, and
yeah,
also
I agree with you.
yeah.
I'm a big advocate for delegating. Delegate the things that don't serve you.
That's because you are wood. When I would be talking to Earth, he would be saying, no, everybody is equal. So this delegating stuff is sometimes a little bit too much. I think everybody should be equal, but that's what Earth would say. And then Metal would say, if everything is done with respect, then it's okay, because we need to follow the lines, we need to follow the rules, we have this structure, we need this and that, because otherwise it's against the rules, and that's not good. Respect is important too. Metal. And Water would say, I don't mind delegating and stuff and working together as long as I can do what I want, because I need to do what I want. I need to be able to express my creative ideas. I need to be a little bit chaotic and funny, and I want to do it all. I want to do it because I know best, and I want to do it all. And then Fire would say, I'll be there because it's fun and I want to do it too. And can I talk? Can I speak? Can I be in the middle of the group? And I'll do everything at the last moment. Yeah, and everything together in 1 hour. So it's fun. You can see this is what I do, and I see those 5 elements in everybody, and you can run businesses with it. You can compose music with it. You can solve problems with it. You can use it to, because I did when I had an acupuncture practice, I used it to get people in a better mental or physical health state. And now I use it to teach people. When I teach you how you can do something, it's better. I believe in teaching people. I'm a water energy type, first one, so the chaotic one. And I want to do everything like I think is best. And I want to teach them. I want to spread my wisdom. That's a water thingy.
I love it. I can see the organizational elements to that. I can see how that would work in a business and recruiting kind of perspective too.
Example,
I'm sure you do some consulting in that. Yeah. So
and
how will people find you? If people want to learn more about you, how do people find you?
They can find me through social media when they Google my name, Jeanine Hofs. And do you have show notes, Dr. Tess?
Yes, I will put them in. Yes.
Okay, that would be great. That would be great. So they can find me on JanineHofs.com, and then /free test. They can do the test because it's for free.
Yeah.
It only takes you, what did it take you, 2-3 minutes?
About that. Yeah, it didn't take long at all. I think it took me longer than it should have with those annoyance ones. I thought about the things that annoy me. I gave that a little bit too much oxygen, I think.
Yeah, because it's what interests you. It's your work as well. So I think you go think about everything, and I understand that. But so people can do this free test, and then they'll know the energy type, and also I can be found on social media, and I have a tip almost every day, a video tip, or a tip on how to use your energy, or a Chinese wisdom, or something, all fun stuff. So I would like people to connect.
Well, I'll share some links to those. I think you have Facebook, and I've seen some videos of yours. I think, were they on YouTube or Facebook?
They are on now. The videos are on YouTube. I'm on Instagram. Yes. I'm on Facebook. I'm on LinkedIn. I'm Water Energy.
You're as busy as me.
Yes, they are. So
that's all right.
I like being. That's this wood energy too. We like to be active. We like to accomplish things. We like to grow. So I understand that completely. Yeah.
So just to finish off, if you were to give, I guess, a little bit of advice to people watching or people listening around how to tap into their own energy, what would be the thing that you would encourage people to go and do? Obviously they can do your test, but just within themselves, what would be the thing that you'd encourage them to do?
I think the first thing I would encourage them to do is to get more knowledge about themselves in a way. So what would I advise? Take a moment Every hour. Did she say every hour? Yes, every hour. Even if you're very busy, just take a few seconds and then sit down or stand still or be still and then ask yourself, hey, how am I doing? Just that. And it amazes me. Even when I do this myself, I do this every hour. I do this every hour. Still, after 26 years, I do this every hour. And it amazes me how much I learn from how am I? And how was I an hour before? And that's the advantage when you do this every hour, you will know, 1 hour before I was at 8 points of energy, for example. Now I'm at 6. What happened? I read my mail and my mind said, that's an awkward mail. But sometimes people are like that, doesn't matter. Still, my energy dropped to a 6. So my head thinks it's okay, but my body reacts. And that's interesting. So how can I get this 6 back up to this 8 or to 6.1 or 6.2 at least? And that's a very important thing. It's very simple, but most energy management techniques are. And it's important to do them every time, regularly. And my motto is repeat, repeat, repeat. Because you don't do the exercise one time and then expect it to be to have this gigantic, enormous change and shift in your life. You need to repeat it, and then again and again, and then again on the next level too. So do this exercise every hour. Ask yourself, how am I? And then compare it to the last time you checked yourself, and then what happened to me, and what can I do to improve my energy? Just a little bit is enough.
And I think that relates a lot to, whatever you want to call it, whether that's taking a moment just to be mindful and tune into yourself, and then making a decision about how you want to feel if you're not feeling as good as you were an hour previously. I think there's lots of, there's a common language that we all speak in this regard. I really like that, the element that we've got there. Common. Yeah. Thank you so much for joining me on the podcast today. It's been such fascinating conversation, and I hope that some of the viewers or some of the watchers, listeners, I should say, will reach out to you. I'm sure you'll get a flurry of interest on your test. So I hope that some people do reach out and start a conversation with you, because it's really interesting work that you're doing.
I would love to hear from people what they think and how the test went and what energy type they are. I like communicating with people. And Dr. Tess, thank you very much for inviting me to your show.
It
was wonderful. I like your energy, and I like the conversation we had. So I'm very grateful for you inviting me today.
My absolute pleasure, Jeanine Hofs. So pleased to have you. Thank you for joining us on Quiet Confidence today.
Thank you so very much. And I wish you all, and the viewers and the listeners, a day filled with happiness, energy, and bubbles, of course.
Beautiful. Thank you.
Thank you.